Alright, what's going on, guys? Throwback again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my first throwback review for the Walking Dead television series for this summer. I decided I would go back and start with the Walking Dead Season 2 premiere, Season 2 Episode 1, which was called What Lies Ahead. Alright, good stuff. So I decided I would go ahead and get started with my throwback reviews for The Walking Dead Season 2. First off, I guess I should explain why exactly I'm doing this and what the purpose is. So basically, my channel has reviews for every episode of The Walking Dead, but the first ones I did were Season 2, and the reviews were not very good. I didn't use full video. I only had audio, like a podcast, and personally the review was not the best. So I decided what I'll do is I'll go back and do a throwback review once a week, maybe, you know, for the summertime. Watch one episode a week from the beginning of Season 2 on up to the end of Season 2. Take us through, you know, those 13 weeks. And I'll just put out one a week, and I'll do them going forward every Sunday. So this one will be released Wednesday, just based on timing, because I did the live stream on Sunday. And from now on, for the next 13 weeks, I'll do these if people are interested enough in them. So there's a potential I may stop doing them. But what I want to know from you guys is let me know what you think about them. Let me know how you feel about them. And, you know, once a week, not a big deal. One video. You guys know I do like 10 videos a week. So one video, do a throwback review, give my thoughts on an episode from Season 2, starting in the beginning all the way up to the end, from today's standpoint. So since all these things have changed, you know, how do I feel about that episode now after we've had a few more seasons? So that's what I intend to do here. So if you guys are interested, let me know right in the comments below. If you're not, that's fine. Let me know as well, too. And if no one's interested, I won't do them. But, you know, I love to watch The Walking Dead, so it just kind of gives me a reason to go back and go from there. And if you guys really like them, you know, who knows? Maybe at one point I could even do throwbacks for Season 3, and we'll have to see. But basically, this was one that I really wanted to do right off the bat. Now, one thing I noticed right away about What Lies Ahead, as soon as I started watching it, is that it's a lengthy episode. It's not a regular 42-minute episode like most of the Walking Dead episodes. This one was 63 minutes. So it's more like an episode and a half, really, than it is just one episode. And even though it's 63 minutes, it's dense. There's really nothing in it that's wasted time. There's some great character stuff in it, character development, like you have the conversations between Shane and Laurie. And I had forgotten that even at this point, like at the beginning of Season 2, Shane was talking about leaving. He was talking about leaving the group. He wasn't going to be a part of the group anymore because Rick was back. You know, they had the situation with him and Laurie. He kind of knew that Rick was probably going to take over. At this point in the series, at the beginning of Season 2, it's not really kind of well known that Rick is the leader of the group. Shane is kind of still halfway the leader of the group, and Rick is kind of slowly taking over the group, if you know what I mean. But at this point here in the premiere, Shane still calls the shots a lot of the times, for the most part. Him and Rick kind of debate over things and whether or not they should keep looking for Sophia, whether they should go back, and you know, it's kind of a weird feeling out time where not either one of them is fully in charge like Rick is later on. So it's really cool, and it made me realize as well, too, how much I miss having Shane in the TV series, man. Jon Bernthal's portrayal of Shane is just, it's unbelievable how good it is. He's one of the absolute best characters we've had in the Walking Dead television series, and getting to see him in an episode again as in this one really makes me miss him nowadays because we don't have him in The Walking Dead. In addition to that as well, Dale is another character I thought was really cool, you know, at this time that we also don't have anymore. Andrea is another one who, you know, she's kind of whiny sometimes, but I like having Andrea around. I think she's a decent character. And Laurie just drives me nuts all the time. All Laurie ever does is just bitch constantly. Even in this episode, she just bitches all the way through. She even bitches at Carol, who's a little bit mad at Rick. Not that she said anything, just because she's giving him looks, because Rick was not able to save Sophia. He told her to hide in the bush, and then the walkers came after him, just two, and then she ended up getting lost, and you guys remember how that turned out. So Laurie's just bitching at her, saying, "Oh, you're giving him looks, blah 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 blah. It's written all over your face." It's like, dude, come on. Of course she's mad, you know. And it's not just that, but she just bitches all the time. She even bitches at Shane when he's trying to create space between himself and Carl because Rick's back now, so he can't really be this replacement father for Carl anymore. And he's trying not to get involved. He's trying to distance himself, and she's bitching at him about that. It's just like she can't help but bitch. And when he's talking about leaving, so. Definitely a character I don't miss is Laurie, that's for sure. By the way, I should say this contains spoilers. I mean, the episode's like over 2 years old, but I'll throw it out there anyway. And Zombie Kill of the Week. So for this one, Zombie Kill of the Week has to go to Daryl. Daryl's got so many awesome zombie kills throughout the series, but this one I like a lot because they go into this church where they hear this recorded bell sound playing, and there's a bunch of zombies inside that just kind of get up and turn around and look at them really creepily, like. And Rick takes out one, Shane takes another, and Daryl takes another. And they've got these weapons that Carl found, like blades, machetes, and different little hatchets and stuff like that. So Daryl comes up behind this one female one, and and she's got this like face thing going on, and he gets her attention by going basically smooch, and then she turns around and he goes, boom, and he just slashes her right across the face, just cutting her like that. It's an awesome zombie kill. He's got some great ones throughout the series. Another one in this one's really good. He comes up behind that one and he stabs it with I think it's like a screwdriver or a knife type thing, back of the head, and then him and T-Dog, he helps T-Dog to cover them with zombies, pulls one on top of himself as the walkers go by on the highway. So some really great zombie kills at this time, even for early on in the series. And the zombies themselves, they look a lot more full than they do later on. They don't look as like decayed, but it makes sense because they'd be more freshly turned, so their bodies wouldn't be as decomposed. They'd be more, they'd have more musculature. They move a little bit faster than the zombies do later on, like the ones that are chasing Rick and Sophia. We don't get the idea that Rick could just run around in a circle and come back. It's more like the ones that are chasing him, the two that are chasing him, they don't. He says that he gets winded and they don't. I guess it kind of makes sense. Zombies don't have that the mental thing going on that's kind of making them feel tired. Like, because you know how a human being, you feel pain. But zombies, they don't really feel pain in the same way. They just kind of keep going after whatever it is they're going for. And the zombies that are chasing them are pretty fast. They're like fast walking. They're not running, but they're also not, like lumbering, kind of really slow. They're coming after them pretty quick, to the point where Rick has to actually separate with Sophia. Or at least he feels that he should. Another great kill when he hits the one with a rocket and smashes its head, and you get the first person can when he comes down and smashes it. Really cool stuff. So, of course, in addition to that, in this episode, some of the great parts of it, there's Carl getting shot, of course, with the deer at the end of the episode, which was really surprising for anybody who didn't know that was going to happen, or it was a surprising thing to see at the end of the premiere and really got us excited for the season because it's like, holy shit, Carl just got shot, Then, of course, you have also the herd on the highway. This was like the first zombie herd we had seen in The Walking Dead, and it was really dope. Even the title, What Lies Ahead. Rick looks through the scopes, he sees that one female zombie come out and she's staggering, and then another one comes out, and then he looks up, and then we start to pans out and we see all the ones behind, maybe a good solid 50 to 100. Not as many as we saw with Daryl and the others on the highway there, where you had like a field. But there was a good amount in this one too, and at that time we had not seen anything like that. Like we had not seen a herd up until that point. So it was pretty dope to see that many walkers come out at once. It was pretty exciting, I got to admit. Even by now to see it, it's cool. Even though no one's going to die directly because of that, or at least no one in that spot. Sophia, of course, does later, but nevertheless, it's still a really cool. Scary part to see in the series, and there really isn't another part like that in the series where you have characters that are kind of just like hiding like that in this really slow, passing of walkers afterwards. Kind of in the Daryl Beth episode in season 4 when they hide in the trunk is probably the closest thing we've seen, but it's not shot the same way, and it's not as good as this was a great scene. I really loved it. Especially you got Andrea, she's sitting in there trying to rebuild her gun, and then she kind of looks up, and you've got that great like movie shot. It's a type of shot I don't see in TV shows. Usually it's like a movie pan where it shows her, and then you've got all the walkers walking by in the background, and then she kind of like looks up like this, and then she and then she wigs out and goes and hides. Of course, we have the screwdriver kill in the RV from her, which was a great moment for her in the series, and one of my favorite kills. Actually, would that be zombie kill of the week? Yeah. The Daryl one's good too. The RV's, I guess I got it. It's tough because there's so many great ones, but I guess I'd have to go with the RV kill. And the Daryl kill's second zombie kill of the week, I guess. So that one's great. Aside from that, let's see. There's the autopsy zombie who Rick and Daryl have to end up ripping apart, which was cool, if you guys remember that one. And let's see. I mean, aside from that, I think that's pretty much all I got to say for this one. It's a great episode, and this also, there's a question about people wondering, how'd Sophia get in the barn? In this episode, getting to watch it again, just to kind of quickly address that. So she goes missing, right? And then they look for her for that day. It gets dark. They have to go back, and Rick has to tell Carol. She wigs out because, you know, she's all worried and everything, which makes total sense. Of course, it's her daughter. And then after that night, they go back and look the entire next day, all day. Don't find her, and then the rest of part of the group goes back, and it's kind of like getting close to nighttime now. Carl gets shot at that point. So Sophia was missing for a solid full day and probably some hours. So she was probably missing for like 30 hours with a herd nearby, with, you know, zombies in and around. And, you know, is it enough time for Otis to put her in the barn and come back? You know, I think so, because the barn is pretty close. And because Rick, of course, he runs there with Carl to the farm to see Hershel. So my interpretation of it is, you know, it makes sense. It's decent. It's a decent theory. And you know, well, I mean, it had to have happened that way, I guess. But, you know, it does make sense. I don't think it's a problem for the series. You know, it might be a little bit close timing, but I think it does make sense. And it also kind of explains why they were not able to find her, because Otis must have found her after she was bitten or whatever and tried to help her out or something, or taken her with him. And, you know, she, of course, she probably would have turned pretty quickly within a couple hours, that type of thing, and he must have taken her. So that's why they weren't able to find her, because she was gone. Aside from that, I mean, it's cool to see T-Dog in the series as well, and even though he only gets a few lines here and there, and I think that's pretty much it. So takeaways from it, awesome herd scene, great opening episode, the part with also the opening scene with Rick radioing Morgan's really cool. It's just an amazing episode. It's actually probably the best premiere we've ever had, even by today's standards. Even like compare it to season 1 premiere, season 3 premiere, and season 4 premiere. I'd have to say this one is the best. You know, you've got some great characters in there that we don't have later on. You've got a lot of exciting things happening. It's longer though, so you got more time. But it's basically a perfect premiere. A lot of these things too, when we saw them at that point, they were new. They were new to us. So we hadn't seen a herd before. We hadn't seen, you know, characters die or go missing like Sophia or things like that. The entire series was like fresh and brand new at that point. So this episode really delivered, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, to me, it's like a perfect episode. It mixes the action, you got the intrigue and the mystery with where Sophia's gone. You've got you know, the horror with the quiet, you know, zombies coming through, get under the cars. Really exciting. I'm gonna give it a perfect 10 out of 10. It's a perfect episode. It's an amazing premiere, and the best The Walking Dead maybe has ever had. Hopefully season 5 will be even better, but I guess we'll have to wait to see. Season 4 premiere was great too, and season 3 was too. But this one for me is overall, I think, the most exciting for its time, and a lot of fun. Because so many of these things were new. You had Shane, you had all these, Daryl was still there, you had all these other characters as well too, that I did like a lot, man. I did like a lot. So let me know what you guys think about this episode, how you feel about it compared to the newer stuff, compared to later season 2 stuff, season 3, season 1 stuff. And to me, it's one of the absolute best episodes of The Walking Dead, period. One of the best there is. So if you guys like the video, please give me some feedback. Let me know so that I know whether or not I should keep making these for the rest of season 2, these throwback reviews once a week on Sundays. Thumb it up below if you do want me to. If you don't, go ahead and thumb it down. Don't feel bad about it. If you're just like, nope, not interested, thumb it down. Say, don't do any more, Trev, not interested. Or if you are, yes, do some more. And if you really want to support the channel, share it, favorite it, and I'll call it here. That's it for this throwback review, guys. I may see you for another one next Sunday, probably will. Or this Sunday, possibly. I'll have to see how that works out. I'll probably do it this Sunday, maybe episode 2. And yeah, that's it. Trev, saying peace.